The adventurer had seen countless sunsets melt into the blocky horizon, had delved into 1,000 treacherous caves, and had, more times than they cared to admit, stared death square in its pixelated face. This particular demise, however, felt especially ignominious. A clumsy misstep on a jagged cliff edge, a moment of distracted mining, and then the sickening plummet. The ground rushed up, a final crunch, and the world dissolved into the familiar red overlay of defeat. But the respawn was wrong. There was no soft thud of a bed, no familiar gleam of a well-lit base, no distant chirping of the world spawn's default plains. Instead, the adventurer opened their eyes to a gloom-choked forest, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient decay. Towering gnarled oak trees, their leaves a perpetual twilight green, blocked out most of the sky. Moss clung to everything, a verdant shroud over stone and wood alike. A chill, deeper than the forest shade, gripped them. Just a few blocks away, nestled amongst overgrown ferns, stood a single, crudely fashioned stone block, distinct from the surrounding terrain. It was a grave marker. Carved into its rough surface, in uneven, stark letters, was a name. A wave of disorientation, colder than any deep cave draft, washed over them. This was impossible. They had never built a grave here. They had never even been here. Their mind raced, grappling with the impossible. A glitch? A cruel trick of the world? A deep, unsettling dread began to coil in their stomach. The respawn point had been hijacked. The adventurer checked their inventory, a futile gesture born of habit. Empty, of course, not even a single dirt block. They were truly alone, adrift in this alien and unnerving landscape, stripped bare of all progress, and now, even of their own identity. The world felt wrong, its very essence subtly twisted. The usual comforting ambient noises were replaced by a profound, oppressive silence, occasionally broken by the mournful whisper of the wind through the ancient leaves. Survival was paramount. With grim determination, the adventurer began the primal dance of punchwood, chop tree, craft table. The familiar motions were a small comfort, a grounding ritual in an ungrounded reality. As the first wooden pickaxe formed in their hands, they cast a wary glance back at the grave. It stood there, a silent sentinel, a monument to a death that hadn't happened, or perhaps a death that was yet to come. Days blurred into a routine of cautious exploration and desperate resource gathering. The forest was endless, its canopy so dense that even midday felt like dusk. Hostile mobs, the ever-present threat of the Minecraft night, seemed more aggressive here, their eyes glowing with an unnatural intensity. Zombies shambled with a purpose, and skeletons took aim with unnerving accuracy. Even the spiders seemed to scuttle faster, their multiple eyes fixed with an unsettling intelligence. The adventurers stumbled upon a small, dilapidated structure, half swallowed by vines and moss. It was unmistakably a villager house, but there was no village, no other sign of civilization for miles. Inside, a single empty chest stood agape, its contents long gone. On a dusty shelf, however, a single item lay forgotten. A tattered journal, its pages brittle with age. No readable words remained, only faded drawings, crude stick figures falling into abysses, symbols resembling warped portals, and a repeated, frantic sketch of a single, ominous block, pulsating with faint, unreadable energy. The drawings were unsettling, echoing their own predicament. The more they explored, the more they noticed the strange inconsistencies. Water flowed sluggishly, defying gravity in small, impossible eddies. Crops, painstakingly planted, withered and died without reason. The very light of their torches seemed to dim faster, casting longer, more anxious shadows. This wasn't just a new biome. It was a place where the fundamental rules of the world had been fractured. Then, they found it. A partially constructed nether portal, its obsidian frame choked with vines and its inner glow extinguished. It stood on a small, elevated clearing, surrounded by a ring of blackened, cracked earth. The portal was clearly ancient, abandoned for ages, yet its presence hummed with a dormant power. The journal's cryptic drawings of warped portals flashed in their mind. A chilling thought surfaced. Was this the path taken by the adventurer, whose name graced the grave? Repairing the portal became their sole focus. It took days of perilous mining for obsidian, fending off relentless creepers whose hiss seemed to echo the silence of the forest, and meticulously crafting a flint and steel. Each click of the flint, each spark, brought a surge of nervous anticipation. Finally, with a resounding whoosh, the purple, swirling vortex of the Nether ignited, casting an otherworldly glow across the dark forest. A deep breath, a final glance back at the grave, now barely visible in the portal's light, and the adventurer stepped through the shimmering veil. The Nether was a cauldron of fire and dread, even more distorted than the overworld they'd left behind. The sky above was a perpetually burning crimson, and the air shimmered with heat. Ghasts wailed mournfully in the distance, their cries echoing through immense caverns of netherrack. Blazes spun and spat fireballs from fortified fortresses, their columns stretching into the fiery heavens. This particular region of the Nether was different, however. Floating islands of obsidian, impossibly smooth and dark, drifted in the lava sea. Here, the gas cries seemed amplified, reverberating with a strange, metallic echo. It wasn't long before the adventurer spotted a peculiar structure in the distance, unlike any nether fortress or bastion they had ever seen. It was a colossal monument, built entirely of obsidian, reaching towards the crimson sky. At its heart, a pulsing, obsidian-like block, far larger than any known game block, radiated a sickly purple light that seemed to draw the very essence of the Nether towards it. Around the central block, a swirling vortex of glowing particles danced, reminiscent of a nether portal, but unstable, flickering with an erratic energy. This had to be it, the source of the warped respawn, the architect of their bizarre awakening. The approach was fraught with danger. Wither skeletons, their bone-rattling clatter a harbinger of doom, guarded the obsidian monument. Blazes swooped down from above, their fireballs raining destruction. The adventurer, now hardened by the trials of the corrupted forest, fought with a primal fury. Each swing of their enchanted diamond sword, each arrow loose from their bow, was infused with the desperate hope of reclaiming their own reality. They scaled the monument, narrowly dodging gas fire and weaving through corridors teeming with hostile mobs. The closer they got to the central pulsating block, the stronger the sense of wrongness grew. It wasn't just a block. It felt like a malignant heart, beating with corrupted energy, siphoning the very concept of respawn from the world. The journal's cryptic drawing of the pulsating block, now understood, flashed in their mind. This was a soul anchor, a twisted, corrupted, somehow tethering errant souls to that strange, unsettling grave. Reaching the central chamber, the adventurers saw that the block was not alone. Around it, etched into the obsidian floor, were dozens of names, faded and barely legible. They were names of countless adventurers, trapped in this bizarre limbo, each represented by a crude carving, each a testament to a respawn gone awry. And among them, etched deeper and more recently, was their name. The grave in the overworld was not a memory of a past self, but a tether, a physical manifestation of this corrupted anchor. It was a lure, a trap. With a surge of understanding and grim resolve, the adventurer raised their pickaxe. This wasn't about vengeance. It was about breaking the cycle. They brought the pickaxe down, again and again, against the pulsating obsidian block. Each blow sent shockwaves through the monument, causing the very ground to tremble. The purple light flared, then dimmed, sputtering like a dying flame. The gas outside wailed in a chorus of agony, and the wither skeletons surrounding the chamber dissolved into particles. Finally, with a deafening crack that reverberated through the entire Nether, the corrupted soul anchor shattered into a million glowing fragments. A blinding white light erupted, engulfing the adventurer, and then a familiar red overlay, far more welcome this time. The world slowly reformed. This time, the soft glow of a crafted torch, the comforting rustle of their own bedsheets, the distant familiar bleating of sheep. The adventurer opened their eyes, the morning sun streaming through the window of their cozy wooden cabin. Their own bed, their own world. It was real. They sat up, heart pounding, the memory of the obsidian grave and the corrupted Nether monument vivid in their mind. It felt like a lifetime had passed, a nightmare from which they had just awoken. They looked down at their hands, expecting them to be empty, expecting to start anew. But in their inventory, clutched tightly, was a single, obsidian-like shard. It was smaller than a block, smooth and dark, and within its depths, a faint purple light pulsed, rhythmically, like a tiny heart. It hummed with an almost imperceptible vibration, warm to the touch, a resonant soul stone, a tangible fragment of the corrupted anchor, now cleansed, a powerful and ancient artifact. The ordeal was over. The cycle was broken. They had not only escaped the last spawn point, but had also, perhaps, freed countless others whose names were etched into the obsidian. The world felt familiar, safe, yet irrevocably changed. The adventurer knew that some mysteries of Minecraft ran deeper than any cave, stretching beyond the edge of the known map, touching the very fabric of existence itself, and they, alone, held a small, thrumming piece of that truth.